So I'm so happy to see you all and so delighted that we get to celebrate this new beautiful book and to properly thank Elizabeth. Not that there's any proper thanks that we can give you, Elizabeth and Carol and Kim.
Carol.
Yes, and Carol and Kim. And it is just amazing. The
Beautiful.
unbelievable dedication and patience they've had, not just the first book, but that they have gone through 5 books with us. This is just really beyond anything we could have imagined, I think, at the beginning. Honestly, that nothing that, that this didn't break down in the middle of such an ambitious project is really extraordinary. And it is thanks to this incredible labor that Elizabeth and Carol have put into this because the hours and the going back over and over, and they have not let anything get in the way, not illness, not family loss, death, nothing. It's been really an extraordinary, extraordinary experience to watch these women working through this project. So thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, everybody, because everyone had to, you all had to be on the ball. You all had to be willing to write and go through old photographs and images. And thank you. And there's no peace for the weary because what we have to do right now is finish this half decade of history and do the teens, which means several things. The first is to send me names of writers that you would like to propose so that we can review them all together for our next essay. So that would be the best thing to do, like right away, because I know you've all been thinking about this. Next is to send $100 to Kim Thoman, who is really extraordinary because she keeps records and she goes back over them and she's doing all this laborious bookkeeping for us all the time, and not just with our $100 for the essay, but with all of our orders, with the honoraria, with our webmaster, with everything, with keeping up our website. She's just like, it's always there in her mailbox and on her table. So I'm sorry she couldn't be with us today, but so that's the next thing. Also, I have some really good news. I think this is really terrific news. Our books, all 5 of them, are in the bookstore at the Berkeley Art Museum Pacific Film Archive.
Wow. Wonderful.
So we have the support of Jim Sugarman, who's been really wonderful and supportive of women artists. He's been supportive of other things I've done with Art Table. He thinks the books are wonderful and important. And we did this hack where I bought 25 books and then, get reimbursement, and they're in the bookstore. They've arrived. We got them printed from Lulu and they got shipped directly to the museum and they are there.
Wow.
So that
So
is
five
so
of
huge.
each.
Sorry?
Five
5?
of each.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Thanks for taking the initiative. That was
Yeah.
Well, all of this is about trying to go to the people we have relationships with and to talk about these projects. And that's the power of coming together and having the greater voice, because what we've done is really important and special, and this hadn't happened before. These all of these artists, and many of you knew each other really well and had worked together, and many of us had never met before, known each other before we started on this venture together. So
Right.
it really is a huge, huge undertaking and quite an accomplishment, I have to say. So I want to make one more announcement, and that is that following our first session, when we take our break, and we can come back on the same link, I'm going to make a little presentation on obituaries. I mentioned this to some of the women well, actually, almost everyone was at the tour at the museum. but I want to talk a little bit about obituaries, why it's important to do this, and to show you a couple of samples that I gleaned from a program I attended that the Artist Legacy Foundation put together.
Mm.
So that said, I'd love to go around and hear from everyone about your news and how you've been since we last gathered like this.
I have a question.
Yes.
Oh, am I on? I can't find my picture, and I must have said no, that I didn't want to see me, but I think,
Oh, on the grid, you mean on this Zoom call?
yeah, how do I do it?
On
I
your
see you.
lower
Yeah.
lower part of the screen, you'll have a microphone and a video camera.
Oh, right.
And
I
if yours
thought I had it
has a line
on.
through it, there you go.
Start
We're seeing
video.
you. We're seeing you.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't see me. Maybe that's
Tap
just as well.
video, Sally, are you doing that? Tapping video?
Yeah, no,
Your screen?
I took away the red line through it.
Oh,
And there, it's up, supposed to be operating. It probably is because you're seeing me, right?
Yeah, we
We're
see.
yeah.
Then I
you.
must have turned off look at yourself kind of thing. You know, where does that
Let's see if there's
Well, there's
something.
a view at the top of your screen. Are you on a laptop?
yes.
At the top,
But I have
right? It says view. And if you click on that, it'll give you a drop down. And there is an option to hide self view.
Uh-huh.
okay.
So take a look at all of those options. And I'm
Oh,
on gallery, so I
right.
can see all of you.
Yeah.
Okay, it
The
doesn't,
other
it
thing
just
is
says
you
show
might be on a different
participants
window.
and then
You could try video again twice, like once, twice.
okay. Anyway, never mind. I'm here, folks.
No,
we can
all-
we can all see you.
Sally, we can see you.
We can see you.
Yeah.
Look,
So
look at that.
beware. We can see you.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Okay.
There's
So-
a thing, hi Sally, under recording, there's one line that says hide self view. Make sure that's not on.
Where's hide recording?
Okay, upper right under recording, there's a window,
maybe that's
speaker,
where it is.
gallery, multi-speaker, then it says hide self view. I bet is that clicked?
Yeah, I think well,
Try
it's,
to
no,
un-
it gives the report on
not-
friends and family.
Actually, under
Oh,
view.
view.
Yeah.
Just-
You guys see or hear
I
me?
think yes, we can see and hear you. And
Yeah,
Elizabeth,
I don't want to
get
take
off
any more
soon.
time.
Elizabeth
Don't
has to
worry.
get off soon, so I'm going to push forward. And
Yes.
I just want to quickly recap for Leah and Pamela that we said thank you for this great production that Elizabeth and Carol and Kim have given
And
us as a
you,
gift.
and you.
And we're going to
Yeah.
on to the teens. So again, you know the drill, $100 to Kim. Write your 450 words for the essay for the teens, an image from work from that first decade, and a photograph of yourself from that decade. And the little bit of big news is that we now have all 5 volumes in the bookstore at the Berkeley Art Museum and Pacific Film Archive.
Yay.
That's
Good
Yeah.
job.
That's great.
So I'm going to ask Elizabeth to go first because I know she's going to have to say goodbye before everyone else. And if you could just tell us a little bit about how you've been since the last time we were all together.
Well, first of all, it's really great to see you. I want to thank Carol for stepping up, especially when I was not feeling well and my hands weren't working earlier last year. Man, what a difference a year makes. And thank you, Jan, for driving the bus. You are amazing, and we can't underestimate how much she does for this project. I am feeling much better than last year. I'm much improved after I had my Lyme disease and lupus and severe Raynaud's diagnosis. And I'm good, and I'm not wearing gloves today.
Oh.
They're healed, and it's like a miracle. So, and I'm enjoying making art. I had a great exhibit at Arc Gallery. Michael Yoakum is featuring like 5 printmakers, and we had a wonderful trunks show and reception on Saturday. My solo exhibition was moved to May of next year, which is actually a good thing. Um, and lots happening, and I'm easing out of exhibitions with NCWCA and training my replacement, and have created a committee. And they are just ready to go and wonderful. And if any of you would ever like to be involved, with like a discrete task, or to be a guest juror, or you have an idea that you want the caucus to support, please reach out to us. We've really expanded our reach.
Mhm.
It's just wonderful to see everybody.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, Lulu,
Who-
the
who do
first
we
one
go
on
to?
board. How are you?
Well, I'm here, and I have to say, the other evening I sat down with all 5 of the books,
Ah,
deliciously paged through all of them, and read everything of the newest one, and they look so good as a stack. I mean, they really, and it's really kind of profound to see from the first to the last, to follow each of us, our photos and our work. So that was just recent. And let's see. Well, my show came down. I had a show at 8 weeks at Anglem Trimble, and I got to show my Pompeian villa. It's been in storage, wrapped up in my studio for 20 years. I actually showed it 7 times before that. So I built it in 1986 after my first trip to Europe. I wanted one. And anyway, the show's down, and I got 2 nice reviews, one from Barbara Morris, and who's such a great writer, and Mark Van Proyen, who's finally nice to me. I think I insulted him years ago. I asked him if he had ever taken an anatomy class. He was, I don't know. Yeah, I thought it was a joke, but he didn't take it that way. Anyway, so I'm getting started trying to figure out who I am in art on the canvas again. And I had thought I wanted to do hopeful paintings. I don't feel so hopeful these days, but
Mm.
It's very
I
hard.
just yesterday I bought new sticks for new picket signs, and I was on Berkeley side. I don't know whether you saw that
I saw you, Lulu.
there in that incident. Anyway, it's, I guess it makes you feel as if you're doing something, standing out there in front of the Tesla.
Good for
Mhm.
you. Mary, how are you? You're muted.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, everybody else. I'm just busy doing postcards while we talk.
Oh, okay.
So I'm listening. So I actually, Lulu, just a little bit of crosstalk. I've heard about your beautiful posters from other people. So for the Tesla.
Nice.
Yeah,
Um,
they're great to use.
So I'm working a lot with weed. We're at Bioneers this weekend. We have a
Oh,
booth and we're
oh,
doing
nice.
a mending workshop at Bioneers tomorrow. So we're there, weed, Women Who Colors Dialogue, which I'm kind of running now. Susan's doing the magazine and I'm doing the rest of it because our other co-chair from Iran had to step down. And the Corning Museum, the curator for the Corning Museum from Corning, New York came out, and I'm going to be in a show of early women in glass, kind of early pioneer women in glass. And so I showed her the catalog. So I think they haven't been really receptive, but I'm going to give them a little binder with all the copies in it. I think that'll make a very powerful presentation. So I'm good. I'm here in Berkeley trying to, and if anybody hasn't read a really wonderful book called Apiricon, It's about a Palestinian and a Israeli father who both lose a daughter and form an organization of many cultures and backgrounds of people who've lost their children as a peace technique. It's a pretty amazing book. I'm listening to it on audio. Okay.
We need that. Thank you. Jean.
Hi, how are you? I love the color of the new book. That's like it goes, it matches my work in there. I'm working on a show at Transmission for June, and I decided to take a series I did a few years ago, but do it in new ways. So I'm doing creative growth, and I'll be in the small space. But what's fun is I'm trying a new material that I think, Liz, you've worked with, but I haven't, photo tech, so you can do big wall images. And I'm also learning photo, wait a minute, I'm blanking, platinum prints, platinum and palladium prints. And they're really sort of gorgeous.
Yeah.
They're done on watercolor paper. They're so beautiful. So I've been working on that right now. I confess I take some days and work on my garden because it's really rocking this year because of the rain and everything we had. And John is here and I'm working with John more. So all that's going on. So otherwise fine, I'm good and want to hear about you.
Okay, so we're going to go to Jeannie. We're going to go to Jean because I'm
Yes.
kind of trying to
Okay.
get everybody in
Thanks.
order
Oh,
to-
you might have meant her. I went out of
Okay.
order. I can't actually see the grid, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Jean.
I'm doing the Great Purge, and that's my art project.
Right.
I have had a bathroom off my studio for years that anyone that came as a guest would open the curtains and thinking it was a shower, it was all filled with fabric. So as I go on in my aging and my health problems, I might need more people to stay with me or whatever. Whatever, it's wonderful to purge 40 45, 50 years of art supplies that I'd always pick something up and I'd say, I have to make art out of that. And so when you carry it around for about 30 years, you go, you know what, maybe I don't need this. So I've gotten really inspired about some of the scraps that I have found that I've saved that were just, which I thought were not so great. And I put them in a box called the think tank. And so now I'm accessing this think tank and it's phenomenal. It's like I need 3 more lifetimes to finish up some of these ideas. So that's been good. And other than, purging, which is always good, I'm a guest down at the Carl Cherry Art Center in Carmel, and I'm thrilled because I hope to show my video at the time through the DeYoung that they did, and to kind of expose the Textile Arts Council to the South Bay and to other areas that are mostly, I think the Textile Arts Council has so much to offer, and we're trying to expand the audience. So I'm happy to be a guest there, and I'll have my work there, but nothing real new other than the think tank's something's gonna come out of it.
Yeah.
Great. Priscilla, how have you been?
I've been good. I've been good doing some similar things to other people. I also have gone through our books, and I'm just astounded and astonished and amazed by what I see and read. I think it's wonderful. And kudos to all the people who have worked on those. And, especially to Jan, who revs us up and keeps us going, keeps us happy and keeps us thrilled. We would not be able to function without you, Jan. Just wouldn't be able to function. And I think there are very few people around who could, ever take on that role. It's a role that I think every group, however, needs to have somebody in there pushing us on. And I just want to thank you guys that I've also been purging, going through stuff, mounds, mounds of stuff. And I really haven't purged so much as found things that I hadn't seen for years. And there are a pile of these things that I have no place to put. And, that kind of going through. Let's see what else. I'm looking at older work and thinking about introducing it into new forms, sort of repurposing some stuff. I guess that's about all that I have to say now. I'm good and I'm looking forward to the future.
Good. Sass.
Yes, hi. Well, I'm really happy that spring is here. I will say that. I got my tomatoes planted, and I just delivered work today to the San Pablo Community Center where I saw Kim, who's also in a show there that opens on Saturday. And so the opening is on Saturday from 2 to 4 if anybody wants to drive to San Pablo. Um, um, it's kind of a funny little place to show, but I'm actually very happy to get some paintings out there. I have a dealer in New York who has been selling my photography work from the 80s to museums. He sold them to the Getty and he sold them to the George Eastman Museum. So, but he's also now taking an interest in my paintings and other things. So that sounds good. I'm waiting to hear more about that. It's really nice to have a dealer, even if he is far away. It's not like Lulu going into the city, but he's very attentive, and it's interesting to have his take on work, especially. And he's not alone as a young gay man curator. He's not alone in being interested in the work of women our age. I know I'm not alone as an 85-year-old who has been selected by some of these curators, and Nancy Yodelman is another one. Maybe some of you know her, and given shows. So I'm very pleased with that. And basically, I've just added. I'm working with Farrell Mertz, who is my archivist, and we have done some videos of a series of tantric artist books that I've made that have never been really shown. And a video is a really good way to show a book. And these are newly on my website. And I'm really interested in, I think it is assembling a body of work, giving it a statement that's understandable and getting it out there. So I'm going through all the different kinds of work I've done, and I'm doing that, and I'm adding that to my website. And I wish I could say I was purging, but I'm not. I've suddenly gotten reinterested in collage, and you know what that means. That just means, oh my gosh, you can't throw anything away. And now I have to clean out my studio. But, I have to say 2 or 3 months, I worked on the very same painting, which I've just finished, and I'm kind of excited to introduce it to the world. And I'm just,
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay. Okay. Linda.
Great, Lynn. It's great, Sass.
Yeah, hi. Let's see, I've been busy and never have enough time, it seems like, probably like all of us. Coming up is the startup fair in San Francisco that is in a motel, Hotel del Sol. It is April 18th, 19th, and 20th. It's the same time as the San Francisco Art Fair. And Liz is also going to be there. But it's all these different motel rooms that are rented by artists. So they used to do it before COVID, and I'm not exactly sure when they started. So now it's been 5 years that they haven't done it. But people will go to the San Francisco Art Fair at Fort Mason. And then the plan is that if they know about going to the startup fair, where it's all artists, no galleries. That is sort of what we hope will happen. And Ray Beldner is the organizer and main person in that. A lot of people know him. And I had heard about this before, but then didn't really follow through with it. But I do have a gallery in Gualala, and she's the one who told me about it, that I should probably participate. So I thought, okay, I'll look into it. So I'm pairing with a woman painter from the Shipyard Artists. So we're doing it together, sharing a room. So anyway, I will send something to you via email, and Liz maybe has already done that. So I'm looking forward to that, middle of April. And then in, it's either June or August, I'm not quite sure, but I've been helping the director and curator at the Grace Hudson Museum in Ukiah. And I don't know if any of you have ever been there, but it is a wonderful museum and gallery in Ukiah, Mendocino County, the county seat. And it's one of the few museums dedicated and devoted to one woman, Grace Hudson, who was, oh, good. I see somebody waving.
Elizabeth is leaving.
Okay.
Oh, Elizabeth is leaving.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, this museum, I helped them jury in their summer show. And so they want me to have a couple of weeks in there in an adjacent room to the main show. So I'm looking forward to that.
Sorry.
Great.
Sorry.
Great. Carol.
Sure. And so that's sort of the only thing. I mean, I have to keep up my website all the time. I feel like it's very behind, and I sort of dread doing it, but I do. I go ahead and do it myself. And the other thing I bought, it was during COVID, I bought an Epson printer, a 900. So it prints 13 inches wide. And it's just a fabulous Epson printer. So I'm having fun getting prints ready, just digital prints of my artwork that I photograph and then work on in Photoshop and then print. So I'll have those at the startup fair.
Great.
And
We're
purging.
almost running out of time for this session. So Carol, why don't you let us know what you've been up to?
Carol doesn't have her.
Yeah.
Now I'm not muted. Well, actually, I just recently updated my website, which was a big pain in the tush, but it's done. And it doesn't look that much different. It just has more of the Squarespace. It's 7.1, so it has a lot of features that the old system doesn't have, which is nice. I haven't actually been purging. It's kind of a purge. I've taken a lot of work I decided wasn't worth keeping, and I've been cutting it up and making new work out of it. So it's reusing it.
Yeah.
And I've been working a lot in the studio. I've been doing a lot of outreach. I mainly have been getting rejections, but that's kind of par for the course. So I don't really have anything that's upcoming as far as, like exhibitions or residencies or grants, but keep putting it out there. We'll see what happens. I've had quite a few studio visits, which is nice, but no direct purchases yet. Some wannabes.
Stay strong. Stay strong.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
Sally.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. For the first time, I've got a helper to be with Shane so that when I'm up here in Sonoma County, where I am at the moment in my studio, I don't have to worry about him so much. It's and so I'm having a wonderful time sort of exploring painting again, which I haven't done really for years, sporadically, but not intensely. So I have to say I am making a new body of work, and I'm not reaching out into the world at all, but I am I am being an artist. So There we are.
Good.
I'm going to my 65th high school reunion in Chicago in May.
There we are.
And that's going to be interesting. There were very few of us to begin
I
with
can't
in
hear.
high school, which was attached to a education department of the University of Chicago. So who's left is going to be very intimate, I think. We're all 81, 82.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
anyway, that's
That's quite an accomplishment and worthy of celebrating with your classmates.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, Leah, how have you been?
Leah.
You can hear me now.
Yes.
I've been okay. I have a lot of medical issues, so I spend most of my time on those, keeping alive for the day to day. And I'm most interested in just in the present. So anything that has to do with my artwork has to do with the present. You know, what I'm looking at when I take walks every day in the garden or at the botanical gardens. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. What's very interesting is that this interest in older women and work from the 70s and 80s, I keep getting contacted by different, curators and organizations interested in this particular time. I want something from the 70s, or I like your tunnel pieces. I'd like to be able to, anyway, it's kind of crazy, to see all this stuff from the past keep coming up. But it's nice, I think it's great.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I don't have a lot else to say. I mean, I was just a part of this show at the Palo Alto Art Center, cut from the cloth. I can't remember the title exactly, but it was Christine Duval curated it and did a wonderful job, and it's still up until the 6th if you happen to be in Palo Alto. But it's a very interesting show. It's about art and technology, but a lot of early experimentation with that. So they have put out a bunch of punch cards from Jacquard that I out kind of in a little sculptural way and various things, So I think it's a nice exhibition. But so that's the local thing. And then I'm part of other exhibitions that are national, but just a piece here and there. So that's about it.
That's marvelous. So we have just a tiny bit left. Liz, do you want to jump in?
Okay, I'll try to talk fast. That won't be hard for me. Again, I agree with everyone, Jan. Couldn't do it without you. And Elizabeth and Carol, amazing. So I've been pretty busy. I had the entire Mercury 20 gallery for a solo show in January. And I work in series. I went back, it was called Bound, Unbound, Rebound. And I went back to works about rope that I did in the 80s when I was breaking out of the etching plate and drawing outside and realizing it had to do with my life being a mother, teacher, wife, artist all at once. I didn't realize that when I started. So I went back and visited those all done analog, and I redid some of the images using digital technology. And